BORTLE here, back from the LCS event of the online format, LCS number 11, folks. And my goodness, we have here top 8 player. Welcome to the channel. Introduce yourself to the world, man, and what deck did you use?
Hey, I'm Destyn Weir, and I played Shaddoll Invoked.
So, post Banlist, what made you decide to play this deck, man?
Personally, I felt like it was a pretty safe pick, because generally Window can just be an FTK against most combo decks, where we felt like Dragon Link and maybe Tri-Brigade were just going to be really prevalent for the event, as well as going second, Shell Fusion and the G7s are just way too good.
Oh yeah, that is true. I mean, there's extra decks out there everywhere, so Shaddoll Fusion's like major plus for that. So overall, how did you perform in Swiss?
I only went X2 during Swish, losing to Dinos and in the mirror. So a pretty unfortunate game where I was like on stream with the Jules Academy and just completely misplayed a lot out of nerves and copious amounts of lack of sleep, I guess.
Oh yeah, I've
Apart
heard
from
that
that,
there was somewhat of a like huge time zone difference. Where are you from, man?
I'm from Australia. But yeah, overall, during Swiss for my wins, it was pretty good. I think I had about 3 Dragon Links, which I just beat all of them, as well as there was a Lich player, another Shaddoll, and I'm pretty sure a Bustlater player. A bit hazy at the moment.
Oh man, it sounds like you were ready for the finals if you were to make it that far.
Yeah, it definitely was.
Well, before we start the actual deck profile, would you like to do some shoutouts?
I'd like to shout out just a couple of Australians, Ashoka and Josh Fine, who helped me actually pick a deck for the event, as well as just helping with making a side deck plan, which made the event so much easier without having to think of what I had to actually take out of my deck so that I could actually kind of win. As well as just all the boys down here, just with moral support and everything like that, I think.
Perfect. Well, without further ado, please take it away with the rest of your deck profile.
Shaddoll Invoked and Dogma cards are generally known, I reckon. So the general 3 hour star searches your invocation, gets you back to your Mechaba, or even if you've got Shaddoll monsters in hand, enables any Shaddoll players extensions to get you Schism. The 3 Ash Blossoms, just a general hand trap. Felt like it's needed in this sort of open format where nothing is defined. Dogma monsters, the 1 Ecclesia and 1 Flare, both just searchable with the Servant, as well as I don't felt like the 2 Ecclesia were needed, as the D7's just a busted card where you just add it back from grave. We'll just go with the 1 Trick Land at the moment. It was a pretty cool card, I reckon. Just as something to send with the Shell Fusion going second, against an extra monster, obviously. Helps you push for OTKs, and it's just that free extra extender.
Man, Trick Clown, that's a pretty cool spicy tech right there. What year is this? Could you recall any like crazy combos you did with the Trick Clown to finish the opponent off?
I ended up sending it with the Shell Fusion, going to my construct and sending something else. I can't exactly remember. But it enabled me to have that extra light monster on the field. The copious amount of super polys that I had in that game. I think in one of my games I ended up super polying my opponent 3 times. Call it lucky, but yeah, whatever happens, happens. So down to the Shaddoll monsters, it's a decently heavy count in comparison to some of the other decks, I think. We've got the 1 Aerial, the 3 Wendy, the 2 Beasts, where one of my opponents was a bit salty about me not bricking, and he was like, oh my god, you're only 2 Beasts? And it's just like, alright. The 1 Dragon, 2 Hedgehogs, and 2 Squamata, just general normal things, I think. Moving down to the spells, we've got the 1 Elshad. This one took a bit of convincing to cut down to 1. But the general idea was just that if you're going to go for an ATK, you're going to be sending this off construct generally anyway. And it's generally not as good to open in comparison to, say, your Shell Fusions or Super Polys. We got the 2 Invocation, the 3 Meltdown. Meltdown's obviously like actually the best card in this deck, I think. It just turns in all your fusion monsters into non-responsive cards, I guess you call it.
Yeah.
With like your app clones just negating a card, as well as like Agoides just straight popping a card without a response. The second best card of the deck is the D7, normal general things. The 3 Pot of Prosperity, helps dig for your Nadir servants or meltdowns, which was, yeah, also took a little bit of convincing, but it performed really well during the weekend.
Oh yeah, I was about to
Yeah,
ask. Your extra deck looks pretty tight already. So were you a pot of prosperity like 6 cards all the time, or were you normally doing three? How were you doing with this?
I was always doing three during the event. It was like always the gravity controller, generally the mud dragon or Entis, and the third construct, just depending on what I'm versing. The three Shaddoll fusions, the three super polys, the two good fusion spells, and the only two traps in the deck, the main deck, the punishment, the schism.
Man, the perfect 40 cards. Very impressive overall. I really feel like this is more of a shit-all deck, if anything, so it's really cool that you're able to fit in that tiny, like, Dogmatika engine, and of course, the Invoked engine as well.
Onto the side deck, we've got the one of the best monsters in the game, I reckon, the Pancrotrops. It was just like you drop it against Dragon Link. The Seal's targeting board, and it's just such a powerhouse. But the three Gammas, the three Book of Moons, I felt like Book of Moon was, I was like debating between Book of Moon or Phantasme, but felt Book of Moon might be more proactive against more decks, say like going first against Dragon Link to just book their normal or one of their extenders, and against Zoo decks or something like that, you can book the Trident or book the Zeus. It's like more impactful than say top decking into a Imperm for it. You got the three Dark Will No More for combo decks, for the Dragon Link, and especially the Tribegate Lurelist deck that I was most afraid of, because the Barrier Statue is definitely a big problem for this deck. Then you get your back row removals, just the Duster, Double Lightning Storm, and the Reboot. General good removal. Yeah, moving on to the extra deck now. The two Uploan, three Construct, two Winder, just general normal ratios for Shaddoll monsters, I feel. If I had more space in the extra deck, like 20 cards, let's say, I'd definitely be running the third Uploan. That card's just amazing all the time. So the the punishment target, you got the Entis, the two invoked monsters being the Mechaba and the Voidies. The super poly target being Mud Dragon. Funny story about the Mud Dragon. I had this whenever I versed Tri-Brigade, and then realized halfway through the event, messaged my friends, and I was like, this is a water monster, right? This doesn't beat the barrier statue. And we laughed about that a little bit, but luckily I didn't have to verse that all day. And then, yeah, just the 4 link monsters, the Artemis for the Owlstar, Boral Sword for OTKs, the Cross Sheet being a great extender, as well as bringing back the Ecclesia, which is just insane, and the Gravity Controller for just basic combo with Construct.
Man, that's a very clean extra deck, especially with the explanations of what you would banish with Prosperity if you were going blind or know what you were facing. Very, very tight fit right here. And oh boy, we all wish we could use 20 cards in our extra deck. But overall, how was your experience for this LCS event? Although, it was kind of impacting your time zone.
Overall, I really enjoyed the event. I had a lot of fun. Moving from like Virtual World into a new deck that I haven't actually really played. Felt really nice. And given more practice with the deck and confidence, I reckon I could do even better. But we'll see how that goes.
Sweet. And thank you again for being on the channel, man.
Yep, too easy. Thanks for having me.
And listeners, if you're not a part of BORTLE Nation, sub for BORTLE. It's that easy and it's free. Oh god, yes. BORTLE out.